chain-like spiral. I was at Sphere. I was in the living area, sprawled out on the sofa. Radio! 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 Uni, who was sitting right beside me, got up and returned to his room with light steps. Then, as if trading places with me, Sami came out from her room. She walked towards the kitchen. A moment later, I could hear the sound of water running. I turned my head to look, and Sami was washing the dishes. Tori wasn't around. She might be sleeping in her room. Hey, Itsumi-san. Yes? Itsumi answered without turning her head. What year is it again? Itsumi came to a sudden halt, slowly turned in my direction. Fuyukawa-san? Yes, that's right. Fuyukawa, haha. For some reason her laugh seemed odd. Wonder what's wrong. You see, just now Yukidoh-kun asked the same thing. Satoru did? Satoru did? So then what year is it? 2012. Her reply startled me. Are you sure? Yes. After all, last year was 2011. I began to feel less sure of what I'd thought. I'll try asking someone else. Going into Tori's room, I found her in the bed. For, in other words, one transfer ago, she had been acting quite deranged. However, it seemed she had calmed down completely since then. Seeing me, she roused herself. Still in bed, she tilted her head and stared at me. Hey, Tori-chan, what year is it again? As if puzzled, she inclined her head doubtfully against the pillow, and then she hesitantly made a peace sign. And Tori continued to wait in that position. You mean 2? Nodding, she then made a circle with her thumb and index finger. 0? And finally, raising both hands, she raised only her index finger up on each. 11? Tori nodded repeatedly. I was getting more and more confused. Which one of them was right? Thank you. Sleep well, okay? I left the room. Oh. Is her personality used to 2011 and just jumped over here? Just as I returned to the living area, Uni also entered. In his hands were a small portable radio. Hey Uni, what year is it? What? Again? He had an exasperated expression on his face. Again probably means Uni got asked the same question by Satoru. You're so persistent. You're so persistent. Sorry, but would you tell me, please? It's 11. You mean 2011? That's right. What's up with you anyway? No, it's nothing. What? Now it's clear. It's not something that's determined by majority rule, but the answer I got most often was 2011. The only ones that said it was 2012 was Satoru and Itsumi. Everyone else said it's 2011. So it must be the year 2011 after all. How weird. How weird. Uni's voice is troubled. Wondering what was wrong, I watched as Uni randomly pressed switches on his portable radio. Putting in the earphones, he tilted his head this way and that. Why can't I hear anything? Seems that the radio is broken. I'll fix it. Let me see it. I reached for the radio in Uni's hand. Is it really broken? Taking the radio from Uni, I prodded and turning it around and get a better look at it. I pushed the various switches, but the radio remained quiet, not letting forth even a single word. In the first place, there's nothing displaying on the LCD screen. It had gone completely silent. Think you can fix it? Uni looked at me with an anxious expression. Is this really a radio? It's useless. Uni's shoulders slumped in disappointment. You're machine illiterate, huh, Satoru? When he says it so abruptly, kind of a shock. All girls are bad with machines, you know. Just forget it. Unable to take any more, I tossed the radio aside. I only meant to throw it lightly aside, but due to its weight, it fell with more force than I thought it would. It made a loud noise as it hit the ground. At the moment of impact, a piece flew from the radio. I thought it had broken, but it seemed it was only the cover of the battery compartment had fallen off. Ugh! Uni let out a shout of surprise as he picked up the radio. It doesn't have any batteries. Uni! Yeah, sorry. Itsumi brought us some new batteries, and upon inserting them, the radio immediately came to life. The reception was bad, but voices could definitely be heard through the static. That's about right, but well, there are only 352 days left in the year! What are you saying, Kobayashi-san? The year 2011 has just begun! 2011? I'm sure the DJ on the radio said 2011 just now. Uni twisted the turning knob. The 2011, the Year of the Rabbit! To commemorate the Year of the Rabbit, a Bunny Girl campaign is going on in the Sake district of Nagoya. Now that you mention it, they're going to abolish the terrestrial analog broadcast, aren't they? At first, they said that reenacting the plan in 2011 was impossible, but the switch to digital has gone much more smooth than they imagined. Only 10 years ago, the cost of a digital-ready TV was 1 million yen. Can you believe it? Uni continued to fiddle with the turning knob, skipping from station to station. Seemed he was looking for a program that he liked. To summarize, the solar winds get stronger and weaker throughout an 11-year cycle. And this year, 2011, just so happens to be one of those lucky years. The solar winds affect the various satellites orbiting the Earth, and cause a bit of trouble. Do you understand? No matter what program he switches to, they're talking about the year 2011. There's no way it could be 2012. There's only boring stuff. Uni switched off the radio. I sank deep into the sofa. Satoru and Itsumi both have it wrong, but those two don't seem like the kind of people to make that kind of mistake, so why? My sight rests on a large television. What about the TV? Timidly, I tried turning on the power. First thing I saw was a scenic shot of the mountains. No way, they're going to show Mount Cocoro? I thought, as I brought the face closer to the screen, but that was wrong. It was the Jungfrau of Switzerland. I'd seen a photo of it before. A cute little train running along a mountain through budding greenery. I changed the channel. This time it's an ocean scene. A dolphin comes through the water, swimming at an incredible speed. The woods, a large tree with a width of over 10 meters and on-screen. Sunshine shines from between the trees and the leaves sway with the wind. What is this? Don't they have normal programs? Well, whatever. I give up on the TV, deciding instead to engross myself in thinking. Why did Satoru and Itsumi say this was year 2012? Then, for argument's sake, let's say that this is the year 2012. Then the problem with the newspaper would be resolved. Someone visiting the shelter cabin holding a July 2011 issue of the newspaper. The newspaper had a printed obituary of the deceased who died in the very cabin, though so was in very bad taste. If that someone had left it there, then it would at least be consistent. But that's all. Everything else other than that is contradictory. I went to the crash site with Yamagi. There was a fresh scar in the earth from the accident. In no way did it seem that a full year had passed. This is the year 2011. There's no mistaking it. In the first place, I had gone on this plan in the year 2011 with Wakanaya as my destination. If this is the year 2012, where did the blank 1 year period go? Besides, there was only 2 people that, for whatever dumb reason, said it was the year 2012. Just Satoru and Itsumi. Other than them, everyone who was saying it was the year 2011. Even the radio. They had informed us that it was the year 2011 on public airwaves. If they were wrong, they'd probably be a huge problem. When I suddenly turned back into reality, Uni was singing a song. Kagome, the bird within the cage. When oh when will you come out? Suddenly remembering something, I smiled at Uni. Hey, thanks for Mr. Bear. When I was feeling down in the shelter cabin, Uni's kindness, when he hugged me with a teddy bear, had left a deep impression in my heart. I wanted to thank him just once. However, Uni just stared at me suspiciously. Oh, what? You know, Mr. Bear, the stuffed animal. Huh? Maybe he doesn't understand because my body is Satoru's right now. I'm Cocoro right now, get it? You comforted me right at the cabin. Cabin? What are you talking about? Did something like that happen? Certainly, I have TB, a teddy bear right now, but I've never let Satoru touch TB. And of course, not Cocoro either. What? What? I hung my head in frustration at this turn of events. Gladly bit my lip again. Again, the things was saying don't match up. Was my theory that Uni was transferring along with me wrong after all? If so, why does Uni exist both here and there? Who is this Uni? Yeah, another riddle. My head begins to hurt. I'm so confused. I don't want to think anymore. I tried putting my hand on my forehead. Feels like I have a slight fever. Without saying anything else to Uni, I walked to Satoru's room with my heavy steps. As I locked the door, I sighed, looked for a reply from Satoru. I could only rely on him right now. Searched the top of my desk. Nerve from last time was there, but there wasn't anything new. Thinking that it might have fallen onto the bed or the floor, I tried searching for it, but it was useless. Why didn't you write anything in return? I tried shouting, but there was no way I would hear Satoru's voice and answer me. I slumped face down into the bed. I pulled a blanket over my head. Enough already. Somebody save me. I'm just a girl. If you throw such an impossible situation at me, there's no way I can bear it, is there? My feelings became so strong that even I couldn't control them. Tears well up in my eyes. What I had been holding back until now all burst out at once. Why did something like this have to happen? Why? And there we go. Memories and predictions. Before I realized it, the blanket over my head had vanished. On the contrary, everything around me underwent a complete change. I was standing on the dark snowfield. In front of me was the door to the shelter cabin. Cold. My body was frozen through and through. No, whoops. Gusts of biting cold wind tore through me. It was more than I could bear, and I made for the shelter cabin, almost falling on the floor. Yukidoh-kun, where are you going? Yomogi, who was in front of the stove, got up. I was worried when you rushed out all of a sudden. You have another fit? Uni drew near and felt my coat. Your coat's all wet. Even your shoes are soaked. Were you playing alone in the snow or what? Even I don't really know. That tone, Fuyukawa-san. Yeah. You got wet, that's bad. Yomogi forcibly sat me down before the stove. Take off all your wet clothes. Be especially sure to warm your hands and toes up. Confused by the strength of his tone, I nevertheless took off my shoes. Massage them firmly. If you leave them that way, you'll definitely get frostbite. Frostbite? Yeah, at best it'll just be a finger or two, or worse, you'll end up losing both your feet. Took off my wet coat and hung it by the window. The snow on it began to melt, the water dripped into the floor. After holding my feet out towards the fire, I hastily began to massage them. I'll help too. Yuni's small hands rubbed my feet. Thank you. Gradually, I felt the blood return to my frozen feet, along with the sensation like an itch. Shall I build up the fire? Yomogi brought over the firewood. Make the fire hotter. Please. Yomogi nodded and threw some firewood into the stove. The heat of the fire increased in intensity to the point where I could feel it against my face. So warm. I sighed in relief. How's that? Thanks, you saved me. I meekly bowed. And from behind me I heard the sound of someone clicking their tongue. When I turned around I saw Meizumi wrapped in blankets, on the top bunk of the bed looking at Yomogi with cold eyes. You're awfully nice to her. Yomogi looked up at the ceiling, fed up. Hey now, this isn't the time to say stuff like that. With a little snort, Meizumi turns her back to us and lies back. Jealous? Jealous. Meizumi didn't try to talk back, even after Yomogi spoke. Yomogi's jerk. They're a normal tea bag, sorry it's so watered down. Yomogi had made made me some chamomile tea. Since he had just thrown a tea bag into the cup, it was a bit weak, but there was no substitute for the warmth. Just as I continued, got uncomfortable, Uni asked me a question. Hey, what were you doing anyway? I was worried. Yeah, really, don't go out without saying even a word to us. Sorry, it wasn't me. Satoru was the one who went out. Yukidoh-kun. As if he wanted to apologize, Yomogi scratched his head. Then he heaved a sigh as if giving up. Well, then I'll tell him next time I meet him. Please. Somehow, it comes out like an apology to him. Because of the personality exchange, I'm a big burden to everyone here in the shelter cabin. Meizumi's inactivity is especially remarkable. She's been staying curled up in bed as if exhausted for some time now, but whenever Satoru's name comes up, she glares at whoever said it with a mix of rage and sorrow. I don't know what their relationship is, but I don't think it's wrong to say that it's really making her really upset. Anyway, I can't do too much about it. While I sat beside the stove, Yomogi was trying to get the satellite phone to work. He's clinging to the possibility that it will, completely by chance, connect. No good. Won't go through, huh? Not only Yomogi turned the phone off. If only this phone will connect. If I remember correctly, according to the newspaper, the probability of getting this through is around 1 million to 1. Even if we kept making a phone call once every second for 24 hours, good connection would occur only once in about 11.5 days. Really, I guess it's impossible. Feeling restored, I moved from the stove to the bed. What was Satoru doing outside? I thought he might have left behind a note. Took out the voice recorder and switched it on. There was messages on it. Data 1 and Data 2. First, I played back Data 1. This is Satoru. First, the least important point. I intend to listen to your requests as much as possible. Since we're partners, I think mutual trust is important. But however, your demand that I keep the wristwatch on, I just can't keep. I looked at my right arm. My watch wasn't there. Wasn't in my pocket either. Again? No, why? You could just take it off. Having something on my arm just irritates me for some reason. By the way, it's the same with bracelets and the like. What do you mean, by the way? In the first place, I have a problem with custom of wearing wristwatches itself. Shouldn't a gentleman carry a pocket watch? Well, I don't really like the design, and they don't have time that well. They don't keep time that well. So I reluctantly carry around a wristwatch. Don't you think the spirit of gentleman is something to be cherished? I don't. Anyway, that theory's weird no matter how you look at it. Satoru's the type who's unsatisfied if he doesn't rationalize anything and everything. Yeah, he's the kind of person I just don't get along with. Even if I were to be sued by the wristwatch society, those feelings will never change. In conclusion, request to keep wristwatch on, denied. Data 1 ended there. Before laying Data 2, I decided to look for my wristwatch. It's not in my pocket, it's not on the bunk bed ladder either. Not on the bed either, nor on the table. It was around the neck of the teddy bear. It wasn't around the teddy bear either. Damn it, where'd you put it? It's my favorite watch too. If you lost it, I'll make you regret it. I'll make you regret it for the rest of your life. As I paced nervously around the cabin like that. Oh, what's the matter? Yorugi asked, completely puzzled. It's gone, it's gone! There isn't? Oh, it's gone, it's gone! It's not here or there, or even over in that other place. Oh, stupid Satoru! You lost it, how will you take responsibility? Fuyukawa-san. The thing you lost is your watch. Yomogi-san, you know where it is? Yeah. Where? I came right up to Yomogi. I grabbed him by the collar and shook him. Calm down, please calm down. I can't talk while you're doing that. Panic, I let go of Yomogi's neck. I'm sorry. No, it's okay. So where's my watch? Maybe. While talking, Yomogi reached a hand into his pocket. This is it. Oh, so he gave it to Yomogi. Oh, my watch. What he took out was none other than the beloved wristwatch. Why did you have it, Yomogi-san? I asked as I took the watch. I know you'd expect me to, but I don't actually know. At any rate, you were Yukidoh that time. Yukidoh could ask me to hold on to it. I didn't mean to do that. I skipped like a lot of stuff. Look, even I don't know. He just came up to me and said, I entrust this to you, so don't ask any questions. Wouldn't it be faster just to ask him? Like, oops. No, it's fine, I get the idea. Or is that so? That's cool then. It's okay then. So I put the wristwatch back on and went over to the bed. It's like Satoru wants to make sure I don't have the watch on. Like he's stubbornly trying to get rid of it. The hiding places are gradually getting more elaborate. That's why I handed it over to Yomogi. He thought I wouldn't find it. Damn it, if it's going to be that way, I'll get stubborn too. Just stubbornly, I'll keep putting it back on. Whenever you hide, I'm going to find it. Having to forge this decision, I sat on the bed. Now then. Data 2. I retrieved the voice recorder, and I played Data 2. What kind of message will be next? Let's get to the main point. Continuing from last time. About the question, what year is it? You remember what I said in the previous message, right? The world you're in. Now it's 1 year later, the year 2012. So he said, but that was Satoru's misunderstanding. However, this wasn't the most accurate way to put it. At the time, I'd lost my head, I forgot. The place where Cocoro can listen to the voice recorder is restricted to just this shelter cabin. I didn't realize that simple truth. I don't understand. What is Satoru trying to say? At the time, by the world where Cocoro is, I didn't mean the shelter cabin. It's the world where Cocoro is from the viewpoint of me, who is here now. Meaning in short, sphere. Do you get it? What do you mean? I listened carefully to the recorder. Without beating around the bush, it's just like this. In the world of sphere it's 2012, and the world of the shelter cabin is 2011. Our consciousnesses are jumping not only through space, but also through time. what we're trapped in isn't a mere personality exchange phenomenon. Along with the personality exchange, there is also a time jump, an extremely unique transfer phenomenon. What does this mean? It's not just a personality exchange, but also a time jump? The personality exchange on its own is hard to believe, though I've already realized I have no choice but to believe it. And not only that, but a time slip is taking place? Come on, really? Come on now. I say this, but I guess you probably won't believe me. How should I explain it? At any rate, this is the truth. 2012 in Sphere and 2011 in the shelter cabin. Cocoro and I keep shifting back and forth between two different bodies, places, and times. How can you say this with such certainty? And I tried to say. Just now you may be thinking, how can you say this with such certainty? The answer is simple. Because I live in this year 2012. That is to say, to you, I'm a person from the future. That's why I even know about the shelter cabin being in 2011. The crash of Flight 18 for me happened last year. Still can't believe it? Can't be helped. Well then I'll tell you about Uni. In the message at Sphere yesterday you wrote this, right? Because if this isn't so, I can explain how Uni could exist as two people at the same time. At the same time, that's what you wrote. But you know, they really aren't the same. One Uni is the Uni of the year 2011, and the other one is the Uni of 2012. Even if the same person exists at different points on the time axis, it's not particularly mysterious, don't you think? Or rather, isn't it natural? Both in the future and the past, Uni being there is normal. I see. I suddenly started believing what Satoru told me. Because if it's true, then lots of things started to make sense. Uni, what Itsumi said. Wait, but Satoru's message continues. I laid aside my thoughts for the time being, carefully listened to his words. But you know, from now on it won't be so straightforward. Then he paused for a while. He didn't resume speaking. Did something happen? Sorry, Cocoro. The voice I heard at last was, for some reason, a rather subsided one. What's wrong, Satoru? How should I put it? No, I'll tell you later. For now, that's it. Oh, wait a second. You're still in the middle of your explanation. Don't just stop at a random place like this. I complained to the voice recorder. Of course, I know it's meaningless. Oh, wait, I was about to forget something important. Huh? Something important? Okay, Cocoro, it's Sphere. From now on, don't eat any of the food. Huh? This is not a request. This isn't the best way to say it, but it's an order. I'll explain the details next time. Anyhow, if you take a single bite of anything, then consider your life over. I'm counting on you. And there the message ended. I turned off the recorder. I leaned against the wall, coming and going back and forth between the years 2011 and 12. That was the blind spot. The double existence of Uni was a big mystery. They weren't twins, and furthermore, they had the same memory. I couldn't imagine anything, but that was transferring at the same time. If considered a time slip, the problem is settled. After all, the two Unis were respectively the Uni of the past and the Uni of the future. I admired that smart solution. Cocoro is in 2011, Sphere is in 2012. According to Satoru, I think of this year as 2011 am in the shelter cabin. It's Satoru who insists 2012 is in Sphere. I nodded in agreement, but something wasn't right. This is the same unease I felt earlier. What, isn't there something wrong with it? As I thought this, it hits me. The newspaper. The date on the newspaper was July 4th, 2011. If the time at the shelter cabin is 2012, there should be no contradiction in that newspaper being here. However, if we say that the date of the shelter cabin is January 13th, 2011, it's strange. A newspaper from the future lying around here. And moreover, the radio. The radio heard in Sphere said that the year was 2011. Why? No way, the shelter cabin is in 2012 and Sphere is in 2011. What? If I believe that, it solves the problems of the newspaper and the radio. But if that's the case, it brings up another contradiction. Outside the shelter cabin is the fresh crash site. In 2012, the crash site could also exist. To avoid that contradiction, what if the airplane was boarded and somehow jumped 2012 during the flight, then crashed on Mount Cocoro? And then if I in the shelter cabin of 2012 and Satoru and Sphere of 2011 began the personality exchange. With this reasoning, the contradictions of the radio I heard in Sphere, reporting it was 2011 and there being a fresh crash site on Mount Cocoro in 2012 are resolved. But the explanation of the newspaper doesn't fit. If the plane crashed on Mount Cocoro in 2012, the article dated July 4th, 2011 couldn't possibly have been published. Besides, the explanation works if I'm thinking it's 2011, but that doesn't work if Satoru is thinking it's 2012. This isn't right either. As I thought about another possibility, I suddenly realized it. If by some chance my transfers situation at the shelter cabin and sphere all took place in the year 2011, and Satoru transfers take place in the year 2012, if that's so, it accounts for how I feel this is 2011, but Satoru thinks it's 2012. But like this is no good, absolutely no good. If I didn't exchange personalities with Satoru in 2012, we wouldn't get in a dispute over the problem of what year this is. Besides, if it turns out I'm going back and forth into 2011, the contradictions of the two unis come up again. I brooded over it. I thought there being a gap between the dates was a good idea, but in practice it doesn't seem so simple. It feels like solving a puzzle. I'm hopeless at puzzles. Even a small one is agony, and makes me want to give up. Even for university research, I like keeping careful observations, but when time comes to write up a paper on it, and lay out all the reasoning, I end up writhing in agony. When I read detective novels, I leave everything to the tail investigator, and don't reason or anything. But now there is no detective that will solve the puzzle for me. This is happening to me right now. If I don't work hard and think... Come to think of it, I recalled Satoru's last words. Let's figure from now on, don't eat any of the food. Anyway, if you take a single bite or anything, then I'll consider your life over. My life? In other words, it means it's like there is a possibility I'll be served poison? I imputed that in the corner of my memory. Still leaning against the wall, my thoughts kept going around in circles. And here we go.